Mall of America. For more than 30 years, it has been a retail leader and an international destination, and it remains the largest mall in the U.S. Not to mention, it welcomes millions of guests from around the world. It's huge, but it's also so much more. In this podcast, you're going to hear the real stories of how it started and why it continues to thrive. You'll hear about challenges we faced along the way and what you can learn from them. We will feature guests and experts from all walks of life and business, and along the way, you'll laugh, learn, and maybe even change the way you look at things. So if you're a fan of the mall, a brand new visitor, an entrepreneur, or a dreamer, prepare to dive deep into so much more. This podcast is presented by the Bloomington Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of So Much More. I am today's host, Dan Jasper. I am joined by my colleagues. First of all, my co-host, someone you've seen many times on this podcast, Joe Renslow, who is our Chief Business Development and Marketing Officer. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Dan.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited for this conversation today.
I think it's going to be fun. I do too. And we are also joined by Carrie Charleston. Carrie is our Vice President of Leasing at Mall of America. Carrie, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. And you?
I'm doing well. And you're not new to this. You've been on a couple of episodes with us.
I have. Always a fun time.
And you came back.
I did.
It's always good when they come back.
I know.
We love that.
I think she's been here 3 times now. So
Well, she doesn't really have a choice because she's down the hall from us, so we just kind of grab her and
Grab me.
Yep.
Like,
Joe
"We need
walks
someone."
in. Joe walks in her office, grabs her, says, "We
Let's
need
go."
you here." But actually, they both have extensive expertise in their areas of focus, which is why we are here today. One of the amazing things about Mall of America is that since opening 32 years ago, we are home to more than 500 retail stores and attractions and dining, and we have wonderful new additions every year. And recently, we've had a lot of new additions. So that's what today's episode is going to focus on, is some of the fun new stores and attractions that have opened at Mall of America. But before we get into that, just for background, Carrie, give us a little bit of your professional background and how you got to here at Mall of America.
Sure. So it'll be 10 years in a couple months that I've been here at Mall of America, which has gone by so fast. I can't even believe it, actually. But prior to that, I started at a boutique firm about 21 years ago. They specialized in a lot of restaurants and a lot of big box stores, such as like Costco and Kohl's, some other things, but had a lot of fun with the restaurant deals. And then from there, I went to a full service brokerage house after that, worked on a landlord portfolio with a lot of brands and retail and restaurants again, and then ended up at Mall of America.
And biggest surprise here in your position at the mall?
Biggest surprise?
Yeah, what surprised you more than anything else?
Oh my gosh, probably all of the crazy events that we have and how many people actually come out for them, because it's absolutely astounding.
How did I know she was going to use the adjective crazy along with something that surprised you?
Right.
It is. Every day is different, isn't
Every
it?
day
And that's
is
what's so much
so
fun.
different, and it's so fun to see, and how many people come out for the events that we do have, and it just makes so many people happy. And you don't ever realize the true gravity of what we do until we have these events and you see what happens to all the fun people that we bring out.
I think it's a great reflection of the diverse tenants that we have and the unique set of consumers that come through our doors every single day, and that we create entertainment to just add value to their visit. And so
Right.
having that recipe for success really differentiates us in the industry, and it's been fun to continue to set the bar higher and higher every year.
Never a dull moment
Never
here.
a dull moment.
It isn't, and it does shock me sometimes when people stop and watch some things that we have at Mall of America. It's awesome though, right?
It is.
And Jill, just really briefly, your background, because you actually have spoken to groups nationally, right? You're a presenter. You're really well known for not only business development, but your expertise in marketing and communications. Just really briefly highlight kind of your career here at the mall, because I'm going to have you talk about that today.
Well, that's great. So I'm a lifer. I've been here since being an intern in my college days. And so it's been really fun to watch the evolution of not only our property, but the retail and entertainment industry. Because I really think that we continue to be a leader in trying new things. And I think that's the secret to our success, is keeping it fresh, whether that's with events, tenants, the brands that we work with, the partners that we bring in. Because every time somebody walks through our doors, they know that they're going to be surprised and delighted with something new. And that's what our goal is as a team, is to always just delight our guests and to bring something new and exciting. We're bold, we take risks, we do a lot of fun things. And that's what keeps a lot of us here for years and years, because we're always doing new things and challenging ourselves with exciting new projects.
You know, it's funny because a lot of companies say things like that and it's just kind of jargon. We talk about this every day. We talked about this like an hour ago, you and I, right? This is part of what we do on a daily basis is we want to create those experiences and tell stories and create love moments. So I appreciate your highlighting that.
And I think it's really fun because the brands that we're going to talk about today, there is something for everyone. We have such an eclectic mix of brands that we're going to be talking about. And there's so many new things. I mean, you walk around the mall and there's just newness everywhere. And that's what people love because they just don't know what they're going to experience when they're here. But there really is something for everyone in the list that we're going to go through today.
And it's a wide list today, right? So before we get to that list, really quickly, Carrie, you and your team, how do you get new brands to come to Mall of America?
So it's actually a really fun process. We do a lot of research for one. We read about a lot of brands. We read about the DTC brands. We travel and we go canvas other properties and see what's opening across the country and even out of the country. We go to conferences and things like that, but we really do our homework and we try to bring the most unique brands and first to market concepts. So it's really what we're known, which also really makes us a destination. So we seek out all of the fun new brands that are out there and we bring them here.
I love that. And then, Joe, we talked, you alluded to already that we're going to talk about some diverse brands today. Mall of America has a lot of diversity in terms of brands and categories. From a marketing and communications perspective, how do you and your team message that?
Oh, we love it. We love the diversity of brands because it doesn't get tired. Just like Carrie said, we do a ton of research. We figure out who's coming in, who their audience is. As soon as we get the contacts, we start collaborating on who their customer is, what's worked in other markets, what works for us in this market, and then we find the perfect mix of a marketing strategy that's going to be successful for them. A lot of times we turn to our social media channels and influencers because that is where so many of our consumers are finding their information. But there's a different mix for everyone. But we've found that there's some tried and true practices that we will share with them, especially what works well here, and then build it together. And it's not just about getting their doors open, but it's sustaining that relationship while they're here at Mall of America. We want to make sure that they're successful because their success is our success. We want to make sure that they continue to not only drive the footfall, but also sales and to get the brand exposure that they're going to expect to have here at Mall of America.
That is something I've seen you and your team do so much over the years is build those relationships with our retailers and continue them. Like you said, it's not about grand opening solely. It's long-term.
Very important because I don't think a lot of other property owners, landlords have the relationships that we do with our tenants, and it starts from day one, even before that, because while they're going through the lease negotiations, there's a sense of pride and real compassion when we're working with our teams because they are partners. They're not just tenants.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I love that. This is a big building. There are
Yes,
3.5 floors. It's 1.1 miles around, right? It can be a little overwhelming, but you and your team, Carrie, use a technique. I refer to it as neighborhooding, putting similar stores kind of in an approximate area of each other. Is that a strategy you use, and why do we do that?
And is that a word that you use, or is Dan just making things up?
Well, I like
I'm
the
making
word.
it up. I'm making it up.
I absolutely like the word, but we refer to it as merchandise mix.
That sounds better.
And we try to be incredibly thoughtful about putting like brands around each other and creating avenues and creating experiences. The ultimate goal, I think, for us in so many across so many departments is the guest experience. And that's a big part of why we do what we do. But we literally we sit down and we look at our map and and sometimes we move tenants too to create just the right brand mix within a certain avenue. And that evolves over time, that changes over time. So to Jill's point earlier, there's always something new. That's part of also what we do is we create different experiences in the mall and we evolve as the world evolves.
I love that. Does that make your messaging more or difficult or easier, do you think, Jill, by grouping brands together?
It depends. It depends on, throughout the cadence of the year, we're going to have different seasonal opportunities. There's going to be points when they're open, but when you're looking at those clusters and that commonality with themes, depending on the time of year, it can become more convenient because you can get more brands into a single message, but it just depends. Like when you even look at back to school, there's going to be tenants that have commonalities with their product mix, and we're going to cluster them together. But when you have something with a similar product or service, it's the power of the variety and the choices that you have here.
I love that.
It's fun.
You spoke earlier about we're not just here for the grand opening. We have this long-term relationship, but I want to talk about grand openings if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a bunch of them here, right? And I
very
know there's some
exciting.
stories behind there. I would love for each of you just to share a story about a brand or a store that opened here and maybe what happened and how that went. Carrie?
Oh, there's so many stores that have recently opened. Let me choose one here. How about Edicted on Level 2 West? Edicted is a brand that went viral on TikTok.
Yep.
And they came to Mall of America because so many other national brands said, our best store is at Mall of America. You got to go to Mall of America. He had never been here, didn't really know where Minnesota was, LA guy.
I love it.
Anyway, he brings the brand here. We get the store open, and the brand is really all about the Gen Z. It's the trend seekers. It's the social media influencers. And anyway, they opened their store, and I can't even tell you how many people showed up for the opening. It was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people came out for the opening. And within 15 days, to just astronomical numbers.
It is one of our new stores, and it's so much fun when we have large crowds. I remember once a really large crowd that came. You want to talk about that one really briefly?
Yeah, that one.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
What is it? What's the brand?
The brand is Carlos Bakery.
And what happened when they opened?
So Carlos Bakery opened. Buddy Valestro and his family all came out for the opening. They were here for probably about 3 or 4 days. They did everything Mall of America. They went on the rides. They went to Sea Life. They literally just had so much fun over 3 days. And I told you this. I was like, thousands of people are going to come out for this.
Yep. What did I say? No.
Probably not. Literally, I think it was 13,000 people showed up for the opening. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I think the line even went outside for the lineup for people to get here. And that was so incredible for us to see, but we impacted their family. I mean, they couldn't believe it, and they were so thrilled and so proud.
Yep.
It was such a fun opening, and I think he stayed literally all day. He was signing the photos of people getting pictures, and I think he had to leave at some point, right? And unfortunately, there were some people, because his goal was, I'm going to get a picture with everyone who stood in line to see me.
Yeah. So please note when I say this, I'll never say this again, I was wrong.
That doesn't happen often.
I like that you were wrong in this
now
case.
we have it on record.
Right?
Jill, do you have an example of a grand opening that was kind of fun here?
I do. And, when I think back to all the amazing experiences we've had with our tenants, so many times it's because they have a special personality that comes in to help launch their brand, something that helps get that media buzz early on. So we're always encouraging the tenants to do something like that, whether it's bringing in a celebrity, bringing in a founder, some sort of hook. Otherwise, they also love to do major giveaways, like for the first 100 or first 500 people, and that's always a nice hook as well. But the one that is fairly recent is Toys R Us. I think what I loved about that was the fact that, their personality was Jeffrey, the giraffe that everybody loved. But it was the nostalgia of having a brand that so many people grew up with. And it was this generational connection where parents were excited to celebrate with their kids because they had that experience when they were young. And to be able to have kind of that traditional toy store and having those, it was very cool to just see that engagement with the families and the excitement, because they also had super long line. People were excited. It was right before the holidays.
Right?
It's great timing.
Exciting.
And it was a perfect connection because we had Toys for Tots that we were starting with our donations for Toys for Tots being the headquarters, and they were adjacent to each other. It was just such a nice synergy. And time of the year, it just brought magic to families.
And it was fun to see them come back.
It was fun to see them. And I was there for it too. And what was more fun is I think some of the parents were more excited than the kids. They were, because it brought back those childhood memories.
Absolutely.
It's what they did, right?
It was, it was super fun.
I love it. We're going to go into our new tenants and broken them down into 3 different categories. We're going to cover them. One is kind of fun treats. The next one is going to be clothing, and then attractions and jewelry. So we're going to start with fun treats. But before we start, we have some samples in front of us. For those who are watching, you'll see this. For those listening, we have 4 cups in front of each of us today, myself, my co-host, and our guest. And they have soda, and we're going to sample them. So everyone's going to take sample number 1. This is from Rocket Fizz, one of our new tenants. So we don't know what the flavor is.
This is in my job description.
I know. I'm scared.
You get to
Sample
sniff it
number
if you want and
I'm
take a little
scared.
sample.
Oh, gosh.
Sweet.
I don't mind that.
That one's sweet. Kind of cotton candy-ish.
Yes.
Very cotton
Yes,
candy,
I think you're. That sounds really good.
Oh, you have the...
It is
birthday
cake.
cake.
The
Close.
first one was birthday
I was
cake.
close.
I liked it.
Very sweet.
Number 2,
I
smell.
really-
You don't have to sample if you don't want to.
Smell it, people. It stinks. It absolutely stinks.
Oh. Gosh. Okay. Ooh.
No, have no idea on that one. It smells really bad.
Ooh.
It doesn't really have a flavor. It's really
Is it
bland on
popcorn?
flavor. No,
It
there's
is,
no way.
Sweet corn.
Sweet
Really?
corn.
Okay, I got the corn
Oh, it
right.
smells terrible.
Good job, Carrie. Okay, sample number 3. Sample number 3. Let's try this one. Oh, this smells good.
Why do
I
I
like
always
this
have to
one.
smell things before? Is it because we don't know what they are?
I kind of want to gargle it, you know? Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what that is. What do you think
a
that
little
is?
fruity.
Like guava or something?
You're good at this game. It's guava.
No
way.
It is
It's not. It's it's PB&J.
PB&J.
That did not taste like...
Okay, yeah, that I would have said strawberry, which would align with
Let's
guava.
try the 4th one.
Yeah.
The 4th sample. Ooh, I know what this is.
I know what it is too.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
from the smell. Pickles.
And I do not like it. No offense. I'm sure somebody loves that.
Wow.
Yeah, not loving the soda.
I'm
I do
thinking-
like pickled beer though. They have pickled beer at
And
the
it
state
is-
fair.
They do.
And
they
I
have-
like the
they have
pickled beer.
pickled donuts, pickled pizza.
Pickle pizza,
Pickle
pickle
pizza's
pretzels.
good.
It's really
I'm gonna
good.
pass on the pickle soda.
Fun
Me too.
fact, Rocket Fizz told me that they have more than 600 types of soda, flavors of soda. And since opening just like 2 months ago, not even
Yeah,
2 months ago, they have sold more than 600 bottles of pickle
That
pop.
is insane.
I can't believe it.
Well, we're Minnesota.
We're Minnesota.
Minnesotans love pickles.
You're exactly
Yes.
right. So really quickly, talk a little bit about, we've talked Rocket Fizz. Where are they located and what do you get? What's your impression of them?
So they're on level 1 east,
Yep.
across from Toys R Us. Super fun, nostalgic brand that really resonates with all generations. And one of the stories they shared with me was, you know, in one of their stores somewhere else in the Midwest, it was about an 80-year-old grandpa that came into the store with his grandkids, and he saw some candy that he loved as a child. And it like brought out emotion in him. It made him think back to all of these childhood memories, and now he was sharing it with his grandkids. And so it's really, it goes across all generations, which I really love. And they shared that story with me, and it was really fun. But if you go in, it's nostalgic. It's things that you haven't seen in years, or you didn't even know that they made anymore. So it's a nice
fun.
surprise for people coming
Yeah,
in.
talk about bridging generations. Like when
Yes.
you walk in there, it's so fun to see the families because the parents are looking for the candy that they grew up with.
yeah.
And they have everything in that store. I was
They do.
trying to find some of the old, old school fun candies, and they had everything. And I love the fact, right, when you walk in on the left-hand side, they have the bulk saltwater taffy. Every possible flavor you can imagine. And that's always a fun thing for families to grab their different
love
flavors
it.
and things. But they have everything in that store. Super fun.
It's super
It
fun.
is fun. Jill, do you mind telling me about Sweet Paris, a new restaurant that opened
Sweet
here?
Patties. Perfect timing with the Olympics,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
As far
right,
as
you're
it-
right.
Yes.
But it's great. I was so excited when we made this announcement because my daughter and I had just experienced the location in Woodbury. And when I heard we were opening it, so it's right outside Nordstrom Level 1, and it is just a beautiful cafe. And they have the sweet and savory crepes. I love it, and the staff is just delightful. They are so accommodating and so excited to be there. And I love the proximity to Nordstrom. I think it's just really nice. It's really complimentary, and it's just a beautiful space. And they have breakfast in the morning, so it's
do.
great. They open, I believe, at 8:30 in the morning, so people can start their day early and enjoy enjoy some treats and then make their way around the mall.
I love it. And I would call that good neighborhooding.
Good neighborhooding.
That's all
there you
I'm
go.
saying. And talk about Treats that just opened up. Treats Cereal Bar,
Yes.
right? Where are they
Yeah.
and what is that all about?
They are on 3 East, and they are a fun new ice cream shop that we have, and they're all about the cereals. And so you can get like cornflakes and candy too, like Butterfingers,
So much
Snickerdoodle,
fun.
whatever it
And
is.
it's Instagrammable.
It's absolutely Instagrammable. It's so decadent and so rich and creamy. It's a local group,
Yep.
local ownership, but it's another brand too. I think that with all the cereals and candies that they have, it kind of is a little bit of a throwback
Nostalgia.
as well. Yeah.
And Jill, we worked with them, right?
We did. And it was fun because our marketing team last summer did Summer on Us, and we did activations not only in the building, but in the community. And we did an activation at Treats, and they loved it. It's where we kind of paid it forward, and we paid the bills of the guests that came in for a certain amount of hours, and they loved the engagement with us. And
That's so fun. Yeah.
we were able to pop up a shop here, and that happened with Slice Brothers too.
Yeah,
We did
you're
an
right.
activation with them. So it's great when we can find that connection and then bring them to our building because it is that relationship piece. But
It is.
I love Treats because I was like, you can't find a place that has like Captain Crunch
Yeah, yeah.
and Cinnamon Toast
Right, Cinnamon
Crunch.
Toast Crunch,
And it is
yeah.
fun. You can get cones, you can get shakes, you can get all the different treats. And
It's really
you
good.
have to get a treat when you're at
delicious.
the mall
Absolutely.
shopping. And so it's a great place
Absolutely.
for people to check out.
I love it. We're going to move on to our next category, which is clothing. We've had a bunch of new clothing brands, so really fun. I'm going to start with one that actually just had a soft opening yesterday. We all experienced that, Chubbies.
Chubbies. I just experienced it today for the first
Awesome.
time too, and it's such a fun brand. It's so vibrant, lots of color, lots of designs. Really originally geared
Where are
towards.
they at?
They are on Level 1 South.
Yep.
Really close to like North Face and Travis Matthews. Anyway, they started up with being a brand that really attracted like the teens, like the boys. It's a men's store only right now, but so anyway, they have evolved not only to kids. But they are now seeing that 25, 35, and they shared that with me today. And then also even empty nesters, the retired people, because they love that fun, the shorts, the tops, everything. It's just, you'll have to check it out because it's such a pretty store. But it's young, fun, and vibrant.
I think what's important to note, I was talking with the manager, and being in Minnesota, like the swim trunks are only, the seasonality of that is limited. But granted, you can get there for vacations and things like that, but they're going to be expanding to outerwear, which will be great for fall and winter. So definitely keep your eyes out on Chubbies and visit it often.
Flannels and jackets and stuff like
It'll
that
be great.
too.
It'll be all
it'll be
year
fun.
round.
Couple other ones that we have, I'm going to just mention quickly. We have Muggsy, which is right across the street from right?
Chubbies,
right?
right?
Isn't it?
Yep.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Very nice clothing options. True Classic, where are they located?
They are on 1 South,
Yep.
Not too far on the other side of Lego.
Yep.
And they are a super fun brand. They started a direct-to-consumer brand is how they started.
Yep.
And then they evolved into stores. And what's so great about True Classic, I mean, the shirts are incredible. Right now they're men's only, but they're going to bring women's in probably next year. Great quality, great price. And then they also bundle. So if you buy 3 T-shirts, you get a certain percentage off. And then if you buy 6, you get even more.
Yeah,
And then
it's great.
12, you get an even more. So it's incredible price point as well.
And then, Jill, would you talk a little bit about Marine Layer? That's one that people have been waiting for.
Yeah, that's right around the corner on West Side Level 1. Beautiful store. It just has amazing colors. Fabrics are fantastic. It was a California-based store. And I love what you had told us. It was like East Coast, West Coast. We're no coast in Minnesota, which we
No
love.
coast.
It's kind of
I
a
know,
fun
I
little thing.
love that.
But I just love it because it's like those great outfits to have at the lake or on vacation. And they're just, like I said, soft fabrics, beautiful patterns. And so check it out, West Level 1.
I love it. And then really quickly, you talked a little bit already about Addicted. Where are they located?
They are on 2 West, right near Hollister.
Got to check that
Yep.
one out. We're going to talk about a couple new attractions in jewelry store. We actually just did an episode on Larissa Loden, so we won't go deep into that. But Jill, you did that one. Just briefly share what that is and where they're at.
We love Larissa.
We
She
do.
just
Yeah.
is amazing. And I love her story because she started at Mall of America and one of her first jobs at Beat It. And she
Yep.
just fell in love with jewelry and fell in love with the mall. So it was like the perfect ending of her story to come back here with her second standalone store. And just a beautiful array of jewelry, but just really catchy, fun, trendy. She has a new line for the state fair goers that they would love to check out. But yeah, she's on West Side Level 2 and just a beautiful new store.
It's fun to have them here as well. We have a Double Dare human crane, Carrie. What the heck? I actually saw it today. What the heck?
I know. It's so fun. I walk by and I see these little kids that are basically hanging in the air with a claw.
Yep.
And they're trying to get all the little gifts below, something that you would see like at a fair, right?
It's fun.
We're on really Jimmy Fallon. So the other night I was watching Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy and Hugh Jackman were going head to head on their human claws, and it's like who could gather more goods. It was so funny. I'm like, okay, we're on to this. This is a trend. This is if Jimmy's doing it, we can do it.
I love that. That's located at the west entrance to Nickelodeon Universe on level 1. And then Jill, great big game show.
This is so fun. So the escape game that is adjacent to the Great Game Show, they are partners in crime, and it's so much fun. And it's great entertainment for families. So first of all, the escape game just added 2 new rooms. So if you've come and enjoyed it before, now you have 2 new rooms to check out, the Cosmic Crisis and also the Depths. So check those out. But the Great Big Game Show is adjacent to the escape game. Good gracious, that's a lot to say that. But what's super cool is you can have anywhere from 2 to 14 guests, and you go head to head at these games. So imagine yourself in kind of that Family Feud type of setting where you're going head to head and competing. You can pay a little extra if you want exclusive for your group, or if you have enough people, then you're by yourself. But otherwise, you can actually go head to head with other families. So very fun. You can make advance reservations, and it's very affordable. A lot of fun.
It's awesome. It's actually located right across from Treats, so you can play your game at the Great Big Game Show and then go have a Treats cereal bar, right? It'd be really fun. We're going to go from that. We're going to wrap this show up with our own little game, and this is something we've never done before like this, so just quick answers, whatever comes to the top of your head. Using only a color, please describe these new stores. Addicted.
Red.
Oh, I have to do the same name.
Yeah, same name.
Pink.
Pink, I love it. Sweet Paris.
Pink.
Jill.
Turquoise.
Turquoise. Okay, yeah, I get that. Okay, marine layer.
Blue.
Salmon.
Salmon, I like that. That's very fishy. Very, I don't know. True classic.
Wait.
Blue.
Okay, Rocket Fizz.
Oh, neon.
Purple.
Okay, very good. And finally, the Great Big Game Show, Jill.
Red. Orange.
I love it. And then, out of our list of new tenants, my last one is I'm going to name a client or a customer base, and which one of those would they want to see the most? If you were a bachelorette group from Chicago. Carrie.
Oh my gosh, a bachelorette group from Chicago.
I'll go.
Addicted?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I'd say Sweet Paris.
Love it.
Paris.
Family from Omaha, Jill.
Great Big Game Show.
Love that. Very good.
It is hard to say, you guys.
Say it again.
Family from Omaha. No, yeah, family from Omaha.
Nickelodeon Universe.
Nickelodeon, okay, they're not on our list, but that's fine. You can break the rules whenever you want,
sorry,
Carrie.
I broke the rules.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm going to say back to school shopper, Jill.
Muggsy.
Muggsy, I like that. Back to school shopper, Carrie.
Chubbies.
And a guest from out of town who happens to have a sweet tooth. Yes.
Treats.
Pop Fizz.
I love it all. This is so much fun. The fun thing about Mall of America is we constantly have new things. We have all these new tenants that have recently opened, and there's more on the way. So for all of our guests that are listening today that have joined us, thank you so much. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Jill, for having this conversation. We're excited. I need to go get some more soda because I need a sugar high. Yes.
So, and if you're looking for more information on these new stores, if you want to check it out, we always are posting our new stores, what's coming on our website. So just check that out. It's updated daily, and we have so many more things coming for the holidays. So check it out.
Thank you so much, mallofamerica.com. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of So Much More. If you want to hear more, be sure to subscribe to our podcast wherever you find your favorites, including Spotify, Apple, or Google Podcasts. And you can also watch a video cast on YouTube. Go to podcast.mallofamerica.com to leave a review, ask a question, or give us an idea for the show. Until next time, thanks for listening. So Much More is presented by the Bloomington Convention and Visitors Bureau, the official destination marketing organization for the city of Bloomington, Minnesota. Before your next trip to Mall of America, visit bloomingtonmn.org for answers to all your travel questions, deals and packages for hotel stays, and so much more.